I call this next part the mammalian variation on a tubular theme. As stated before, many of our body systems are variations on this tubular theme. We have our digestive tube going from the mouth to the anus. We have our tubular circulatory theme. We have our tubular respiratory theme. So here is another variation of this idea of a tube. The four basic processes are filtration, reabsorption, secretion, and elimination. And it is really important to understand those words because they are not self-explanatory in terms of the direction of which solutes are moved. Filtration moves solute from the blood into our excretory system. Reabsorption is the opposite direction. The body reabsorbed what was already put out into the excretory system. Secretion is the same direction as filtration from the blood into the tubule system of the kidneys, but it is a more specific selective process than filtration, and elimination has the same direction as reabsorption, meaning out of the excretory system, but this time not back into the body, but out of the body. So let's look at the anatomy of this excretory system. This shows you the blood vessels that supply the kidneys with the blood that needs to be filtered and then take the blood away, again in the veins, the renal veins. And we have the kidneys themselves. The filtrate passes through the kidneys into the ureter. From the ureter, which is a tube, it goes to the urinary bladder, where the urine is stored and then goes out of the body, is excreted through the urethra. So ureter and urethra sound similar, and the way I remember that the urethra is the one that leads out of the body is because there is this A at the end away from the body. So the system is composed of the kidneys, the ureter, the bladder, and the urethra. The organ that does the heavy lifting of this job is the kidney, and we will look at the kidney structure in a minute, but can you now tell me what this tube is called? The kidney here has a cortex, a term that we have discussed before, meaning bark. It's the outside, and a medulla, the inside of the kidney. You can here see the renal artery through which the blood that needs to be filtered enters the kidney, and the renal vein through which the non-filtered blood goes out of the kidney. We have the renal pelvis, where all the subunits of the kidney come together, the filtrate that comes out of these subunits. And then again, do you know what this is? If you said ureter, you are right. Oops, I should have asked you this way. The functional unit of the kidney is called a nephron, which comes from the Greek nephros, meaning kidney, and it's the microscopic structural functional unit that makes up the kidney. They are composed of a capsule that you see here. The outside is the Bowman's capsule. That is already your kidney network, your tubular network of the kidney, and it encloses the glomerulus, which is the capillary bed that filters into the glomerulus. This is the capsule, and then we have the tubular part that is composed of different areas. The proximal tubule, proximal meaning close, close to the Bowman's capsule and glomerulus. The loop of Henle that you can see here, and then we have a distal tubule that is further away from the Bowman's capsule. So proximal tubule going down here, loop of Henle, and then the distal tubule. It looks like it goes back to the glomerulus, but it doesn't in this figure. And yet what you should also note in this figure is that we have these vasa recta, so the venal veins coming down here that take water and filtrate away from the nephron. So there is this intimate relationship between our excretory system and our capillary system, our circulatory system, just as you saw with the digestive system. So as I said, the nephron is the functional unit of the kidney, and a healthy adult has about 800,000 to 1.5 million nephron in each kidney. Consider this question. Stop it. If you said yes, you are correct because the glomerulus is part of the nephron. Here are some numbers to enjoy and not to memorize. I mean, if you want to, sure, but you don't need to. How much blood is in your body? About 5.6 liters. How many times does your heart beat per day? About 100,000 times. What is a normal stroke volume? About a third of a cup. And how much blood does your heart pump a day? 6,000 to 7,500 liters. So that is a big job. If you would line up your nephrons end to end, they would be about 25 miles per kidney. So let's look how blood becomes filtrate and travels through your nephron.